That thing never plays the way it's supposed to, man. it never.
It sounds good
it,
though.
It never plays out though. That's the thing. I'm gonna make you large and in charge there, homie.
There we go. There we
Hang
go.
on a sec. I'm gonna do a little finagling. All right, as we say in the South, how y'all are. That's a little Justin Wilson from way back in the day. Let me know how my mic sounds. I'm playing with a new mic here, and new a new card, audio-visual card, that sort of thing. Playing with some new graphics and all of that. Hope it looks good. Hope the show is good. I'm so tired. I've been talking to Dan a little bit today. I've been running, and I'm not done. So I am not sure how this show is going to go. I'm hoping. Look, I'm already missing things right now. Here, give me a second. We're gonna throw that out there. Yep, there we go. I'm gonna put the chat up there. Unfortunately, it always covers our faces. I'm not gonna show that on the stream right now.
Yeah.
But so happy Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Hopefully folks are already in Minot, like having a good time with Royce White and the NDGOP up there, which all of our incumbents are, skipping because they're pantyweights, and that sort of thing. But hopefully you're out there. I do not think like my audience is going to be as robust tonight because of that. So if you're out there, I am glad you are missing this show to be out there. Just pick it up on Monday or later tonight, pick it up, set it. I'm on all of these streaming platforms. I'm on Spotify. Why can I not hear myself? I can hear you. Cannot hear myself.
I can hear you though.
Okay, as long as you can hear me,
yeah,
I think I'm okay.
You're coming across okay.
Okay. I can't hear anything in here except when you speak. Okay. I guess that's going to I can hear my voice because I'm a loud person. Normally I can hear them in my headphones. So I'm hoping that everything is coming in clear. You guys in the chats, okay. I see someone said my mic sounds good. So I'm gonna roll with that. I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. Here, give me 1 second. I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth ever. My grandpapa told me that. So this is what we got in the show stack today. Normally I do a little promo right before. Did not have time to get to that, man. Good evening, Brian. Good evening, Justin. Good evening, the lovely and very sexy Nicole Lynn. Oof, I know her. Anyway, this is how the show is going to shake out tonight. Might be a short one. Just depends on how much gas I got in the old tank. We're going to, first off, our first segment is going to be Work or Jerk. House conservatives are livid. John Thune and his Senate RINOs have just rammed through a DHS funding deal in the dead of the night, fully funding everything except ICE and except CBP, border security. They're all left hanging, man. Now, Thune is pointing the fingers at Democrats. So tell me, is Thune actually putting in the work, or is he just being a jerk? You guys sound off in the comments. We're going to chop that up here in just a bit. And then the next segment is life or lazy. Now, I saw this earlier in the week. Ben Shapiro walked into the Breakfast Club. And for you guys that are not familiar with the Breakfast Club, if you remember the viral soundbite of Joe Biden telling this black dude, Charlemagne the God, and those are air quotes, that if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. That was the Breakfast Club. It's those idiots. And they have a massive following. They cater to the low information voter, in my humble opinion. But they are top of the charts in their bracket for their age demographics, for two different age demographics. They have over 1 billion streams, and they're moving into the Netflix sphere now, and cut a huge deal. So the reason this stuck out to me is it reaches a mass audience of low information voters. So when I watched this video, I'm like, oh my God, these people are idiots. Well, Ben Shapiro, he walked in there and he had his brain kind of clicked on 10, because that's kind of where he lives, in that old 10. Sometimes he can crank it up even more, but about halfway through, you can see him dial it back down to like a 3. Maybe even a 2.5. And in my humble opinion, the host there hit him with some serious lazy logic, defending their pro-choice stance. Now, anyone that has any knowledge of me understands that I am a 100% no BS pro-life guy. I'm pro-life because when John, Jesus' cousin, when his mom met Mary, John, in the womb, jumped for joy. How do you do that without a life, you know? I'm just saying. The hounds are loaded. I thought we were going hunting tonight. Man, I've been running ragged. Marty, we are going to talk, buddy. We're going to talk. As a matter of fact, the bloodhound I thought I was getting in September, I'll be getting in a month now. Oof. That's gonna be my favorite dog right there. So Marty, me and you, we gotta have a conversation. Had I known Marty was gonna be here on my Feel Good Friday, I would have dropped in one of my Marty tracks. I think it was last Friday. He comes in the house and he kind of undresses, and he's got like 200 firearms that he's pulling off.
I seen that.
That thing was phenomenal. But anyway. So then we're going to go to Muzzi Ninjas. Now, you're going to think that that's kind of what is he talking about, Muzzi Ninjas? Muslim ninjas, because apparently you can't see them. And in the clip that I'm going to play, you're going to see what I mean about that. A reporter asked this guy in the EU if he's seen signs of ethnic change in his neighborhood. His answer and what's happening in the background will shock you. And you just got to see this. Like, liberals sticking their head in the sand. And I don't know. I have also heard that you can't say anything negative about Muslims over there. Luckily, I can call them Muzzies or whatever I want in the good old US of A, because we have the First Amendment with the Second Amendment backing that bad boy up. So I ain't worried about nothing. Anyway, last segment is going to be Dave Zabolinski is out. He's walking out the door, and if you ever watch Bernie Mac, he had this thing. When he lost an argument, he would leave the room, but he'd knock something over on purpose just to, just to get your goat, that sort of thing. So that's what Dave is doing. Dave is walking out of the door, and he's just kind of kicking over everything as he goes out, and he's throwing other agencies under the bus. But those agencies, they're not staying quiet. And if you're wondering what I'm referring to, Dave Zabolinski, Fargo police chief, horrible police chief, in my humble opinion, and his entire tenure was just rife with controversy. The last one being the Angela Lip controversy, where you got this 50-year-old grandma in Tennessee. She's arrested because AI apparently said that this was her in Fargo. She's never been to Fargo. They scooped her up, and she sat for like 5 months without a hearing, without a trial, without nothing. And the second she gets an attorney, the attorney says, wait a minute, this isn't her. And they let her go in the middle of winter with nothing. She lost her house. She lost her car. She lost her dog. I mean, she lost everything. And so she's suing, and I am glad to hear that. But A couple of episodes past, I played a interview that Dave Zabolinski had with Scott Hannon. And he basically said, hey, we didn't do anything wrong, which was, to me, unbelievable. How could you mess up this badly and you don't think you... He spent the entire hour showing you the systems of checks and balances that were put in place. And at the end of that, my question was, so none of those checks and balances caught anything? Nothing? They didn't even know the woman was in Fargo for months, even though she was sitting in Cass County Jail. Like, that's a problem, you know? But anyway, that's our show stack for today. We're going to jump right into it. We're going to get after it. I'm going to start with this. U.S. Senate recesses without passing the SAVE Act, requiring proof of citizenship for federal voter registration. And to be clear, where I sit on this is I don't think that this thing goes far enough. I think that we should go back and in the census, we should have census reform. I don't think that you should be counted in any way, shape, form, or fashion if you are not an American citizen. I don't think that the Democrats should have as many seats as they have for apportionment. And if it wasn't for them reusing the 3/5 clause, if it wasn't for them doing that like refried beans, they wouldn't have the seats that they have. So that's where I'm at. So the SAVE Act, to me, it doesn't cut the mustard, but that's just me. I understand why people want it. Understand, our election integrity. Understand that folks that are not citizens should not be voting in our elections. But I think the rot goes farther than that. That being said, this thing should have been passed, and the way that Thune is handling it is garbage. So they adjourned for Easter recess without passing it. Thune departed Washington, D.C. via Reagan National Airport amid the recess. The Democrats blocked a related Republican amendment requiring photo ID to vote, prompting conservative backlash on all of the social media platforms. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a little game. And I want, hey, one shot. Thune is being the weasel that he's always been. Well, and I've been saying that. And I was on many platforms, radio and podcasts, when people were saying, oh, John Thune, he's going to be great. And I'm like, have you not been watching this guy? He is not great. I could name off the top of my head 5 other senators who would be much better than them. Much better. But anyway, that's what we were given. What we're going to do is I'm going to start with this. So we're going to play a game. It's called John Thune, Work or Jerk. I want you guys to tell me if he's in there working hard for us or is he a jerk. So here's John Thune on X. He says, let's summarize, and I forget when this was, but he said, let's summarize where we are after a 40-plus day Democrat shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security. 1, ICE and CBP are funded thanks to the working families tax cut and the foresight of President Trump and Republican Congress. 2, after holding DHS and the American people hostage for over 40 days, Democrats got 0 restrictions that would prevent ICE and CBP agents from doing their job safely. 3, due to Democrat obstruction and the appropriations process, ICE and CBP will get even more funding through budget reconciliation. 4, Dems have once again established themselves as the open border to fund the police party heading into an election. 5, Democrat leadership has proven once again that they can't be trusted to make a deal. I would argue that this chuckle nut can't be trusted either, which begs the question, if you're a Democrat senator, or one of their left-wing supporters what was this really all about? So you got that, and you're looking at that, and you're like, oh wow, this dude's in there working. What up, JD? So you're thinking, wow, this guy's in there and he's working for us, and yada yada yada. But wait a minute. Then you have this.
The Senate burning the midnight oil, just passing funding for most of the Department of Homeland Security. For detail on what this all means, let's turn to our expert, Fox News Chief Congressional Correspondent Chad Pergram. Joins us from the Capitol. Chad, we just got it passed, right?
Well, they just passed this through the Senate. This is something that they have been working on for hours and hours and hours, and they did it without even a formal roll call vote. They did it with just a skeleton crew inside the chamber here, and this might be the beginning of breaking this impasse with the funding for the Department of Homeland Security that has gone on now for 41 hours, 2 hours, 41 days, 2 hours, and about 37 minutes. It's really remarkable here that this is the first genuine movement. This funds everything at the Department of Homeland Security except funding for ICE and also a little bit of money.
The Senate burning the midnight oil just.
Wait,
We are
what?
furious. I mean, I think that came through in the press conference.
Okay. So if you saw me read what John Thune put out there, and then you heard that report, something doesn't make sense, right? Because according to this report, this report that we just listened to, here, I'm going to...
Beginning of breaking this impasse with the funding for the Department of Homeland Security that has gone on now for 41 hours, 2 hours, 41 days, 2 hours, and about 37 minutes. It's really remarkable here that this is the first genuine movement. This funds everything at the Department of Homeland Security except funding for ICE and also a little bit of money.
The Senate burning the.
So, except for the funding of ICE.
Burning the midnight oil just.
And that's why I threw this in there.
We are
wait,
furious.
what?
I mean, I think that came through
Okay,
in the
and
press.
this is House Speaker Mike Johnson, and he's talking to I'm drawing a blank. What's his name again? Scott Jennings.
Yep.
And he's talking to Scott Jennings. Now, Republicans are not happy about this. John Thune has been drugged. And here, I'm going to go back to one thing here. I want you to look at, here, let me see.
Days, 2 hours, and about 37.
Right here. Do you see when this happened? This is 2:37 a.m. when they got this thing done. Can you see that right there?
Yeah, that's Eastern time.
Eastern. So when I was watching this, I'm like, wait a minute. Who's up at this hour?
We just got it passed.
Nothing to see here, obviously. So
I was up.
You were up? Yeah, me too. So let's get back to Scott Jennings here. Let's get past all. Oh, yeah, the head slapping. Yeah.
We are furious. I mean, I think that came through in the press conference just now. I don't know how else to say it. I began the comments today by saying, let me be absolutely crystal clear. Under no circumstances are House Republicans going to be a part of anything that defunds border security and immigration enforcement or reopens our border. Scott, that's exactly what the bill last night does. Literally in the bill itself, I read at the press conference, page 2, under this section 4 that's called explanatory statement, it says literally, I read the bill, that all of U.S. immigration and customs enforcement, border security operations, and everything under the heading of U.S. Customs and Border Protection, quote, shall have no force or effect for purposes of this act, and amounts to, in the final bill,
Did you hear that? Okay, I'm going to let it play.
An appropriation of exactly $0.
It also defunded. It didn't give any money for child predators. It totally exempted all the money for the ICE part that went after the child predators. Zero money for those.
So again, and I had a segment on this a couple of shows ago where Thune would go in there and just kind of gavel open with nobody there, just so Trump couldn't get his recess appointments and all of that stuff. Yeah, Dan has a voice. He's been talking. Hey, can you guys not hear him? Hang on a sec. Let me. Someone asked if you had a voice, man.
Can you hear me now?
I can
you
hear
hear
you
me?
just fine. Yeah. Let me know if
Yeah.
you can hear Dan now, guys.
All right, I'm talking.
Or maybe they think I talk too much. Maybe that's it.
Maybe that's
But, hey,
it. Yeah, you do talk a lot.
I was going to say the name of the show is Blackbeard Logic, but your beard is about as black as mine, so it's half of one thing and 50% of the other. But anyway, here.
Yeah.
So,
I'm a skunk.
skunk. Basically, what happened at 3 o'clock on Friday, March 27th, so this morning, in a near empty chamber, Thune passed a bill by voice vote that excludes all funding for ICE and CBP. Is that what we signed up for? Let me repeat that. A voice vote, no roll call, no record of who was there, no accountability, just Thune and a couple of his elite goons, man.
Yeah.
Like,
there was three Republicans and 5 Democrats. So I think it was Mark Meadows, maybe. I'm not positive. But it was the speaker, or who has the acting president, and Thune and one other guy for Republicans. And then there was 5 Democrats.
and just so we're all clear, Thune gave Chuck Schumer exactly what he asked for, 100%. Chuck Schumer said DHS funding minus immigration enforcement. And that's what happened. And then Thune walked out, faced the cameras, got on his little tappity tap box there, his phone and social media, and then blamed all the Democrats. But we got to be clear about this. What he did was he caved. He caved on a demand that the Democrats made on day one of this shutdown. And he couched it as hardball negotiation. And he settled for he should have read Trump's book, The Art of the Deal, dude. He handed them a template. So the next time Democrats wanted to fund any agency, that's ICE, CBP, or anything else, now they know, just shut down DHS and wait. And then this guy will fold like a cheap suit. And Thune, if you look at it, he has this alpha male air about him, but he is anything but. He caved. Make no mistake about that. Voice vote to avoid accountability. Empty chamber to avoid debate. Midnight deal to avoid scrutiny. And an immediate recess to avoid questions. So you can't even question this idiot because he's already gone for 2 weeks. He's going to be, all of these guys are gone now. And to me, that's a jerk move, man. I'm a Christian, and I'm trying to be a better man, so I can't call him what I want to call him, Dad.
You can call him a snake. It's perfectly fine to call somebody a snake.
Oh, he is definitely that. And folks like me, guys like me, sometimes you think you would listen to me rant and you'd be like, God, this guy's over the top. Come on, the Republicans aren't that. They are, man. They are. They don't know how to win. When Democrats win, they spike the ball. They do an end zone dance. They're doing the whole exit on they're doing the whole thing, and they're running. They're advancing their progress, what they call progress. It doesn't stop there. They get that win. They're trucking on to the next one. They're another 30 yards. Give me another 30 yards. That's what they're doing. We do not do that. And it pisses me off. It gets me hot. It gets me upset because we do not. This dude should be an alpha male. by all accounts. And he's not. He caved. And I'm going to sit back for 2 seconds, catch my breath. Dan, what do you think, man?
I sat there watching this. Well, I've been watching it for every day they've been in session discussing this. I've been watching it. And I'm just sick. I'm just sick of all the Democrats lying. I can't take it. But him, you know, the buck stops. It stops with him. He's the leader. He can't blame the lower people. He can't blame the Dems. It stops with him. That's his job, to take that blame, to make those decisions. And he did make those decisions last night. He didn't even call Mike Johnson. He never called Mike, to ask him his opinion or to see if it worked through. But he just ramrodded this and got the hell out of town. It's like,
so
I'm
why
saying,
do they have to do this?
Stay home, buddy. Stay home.
Why do they have to do this at 3:00?
Yeah, that's because he could pass it without any voice objections. Everybody else is sleeping. Mike Lee, he's been up there for days and days talking. He's one of my favorites. That guy has so much patience. I couldn't have done it. But him, he gets up there, tells perfect stories, takes his time, so methodical. You can tell he's upset, but he contains it. I think he should be speaker or leader. No, I think we should have him as leader. He's got balls and morals, ethics.
He's a Louisiana boy. I have to get that in there. Brian says chicken shit is a naturally occurring phenomenon. That's not okay. Yeah, he's a chicken shit. And I'm going to just throw that out into the ether.
Well, that's a natural product. It's fertilizer. Yeah.
I told you. Like, I come in today, and I'm looking for the 8-year-old, and he's been out in the barn the whole day, so he smells like manure. He's covered with hay. The dogs are just covered with hay and manure and wanting to come in the house. I put them all out.
That's the best life. Best life.
Oh, you guys, get the hell out of my house. Let me talk to my wife for 2 seconds. And then Dan texted me, and my 2 seconds was up. So anyway,
he's gonna love doing that until you hand him a pitchfork.
No, he's got one out there. I think that's what he's been doing.
Okay.
I think that he's. I haven't even been out to the dog's kennel yet, but I guarantee you that any little bit of hay that we had left is probably in there. And I doubt he picked up any of the poop that's out there. I bet it's just kind of covered over and, that sort of stuff. But anyway, we're going to, next month, we're getting the chickens. I'm putting the chicken coop out there. We're going to keep him busy. He's going to be busy, man. We got an apple tree needs pruning. We got another one that's trying to grow. Yeah, it's about to get real busy around here, and I'm going to get all that energy out. I watch this kid, dude. Like, I periodically check in on the cameras, because if you got an 8-year-old and he's homeschooled, you'll have a mom sitting in the corner of a room and rocking back and forth, going red room. If you catch that. So every now and then I have to hop in there and put the dad voice on and go, hey, knock it off. Because he'll be hopping around, like bouncing. Yeah. I got a leather sectional kind of recliner thing sitting over there that I used to love. I can't even sit in it. Like, if I sit in it, pieces of it fall off. And I'm like, what the? It's the 8-year-old. It's the 8-year-old. I went out. I got a whole network set up, like, in this farm. It's an old farmhouse, very old. So I don't know, 2 months. I put a MDF downstairs, an IDF upstairs, linked it to the IDF out there in my garage. Spent a ton of time. So I got the cameras all around. Everything's going. Everything's good. I come home last week. I go out there, and I'm sitting there and I'm messing around. It was a good day, a nice day out. And I'm like, all of my monitors are blank. And then I look for my, yeah, the 8-year-old's been out there. And so I look for there. I have a little nook that kind of runs everything. And I look up and it's not there. And I'm looking for it and I see it. It's like on the ground and it's connected but cables are connected where cables shouldn't be connected, and it's just. And so I come in the house, I'm like, "Hey, man, what happened to my setup?" And he's like, "What are you talking about? What do you mean?"
I was just trying to be like you, Dad.
Yeah, I gave him the dad look, and I'm like, "Somebody give you one more chance, just kind of come clean with this thing." And then he broke down. Yeah, I was up there messing around. I dropped it, and like, but anyway, I wouldn't have it any other way. Like, I do not want this kid sitting down in a classroom, like teachers calling me every 5 minutes. Get this kid on Ritalin or Adderall or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, his mom might not agree with me, but I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. No, his mom 100% agrees. We're going to hit a short commercial break because we're already good God, we're a half an hour into this thing, man. So we're going to hit a short commercial break right now. We'll be right back as soon as are you kidding me? Give me 1 second. These things move around on me, apparently. We'll be right back. Blackbeard Logic with my good buddy Dan Hager of Hager TV right after this break.
Hey, it's Leon Francis from Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. I'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors. Stay tuned.
When you want it done right, go where lemons go. Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just 1 block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon. Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Come on, no.
Welcome back. It's Leon Francis with Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Welcome back. I am Leon Francis, your host of Blackbeard Logic with my good friend Dan Hager of Hager TV. Now, a lot of the things that I post, a couple of, I want to say probably 80% of what we're going to talk about, were first brought to my attention by Dan because I follow him on Twitter. And so he'll post something and I'm like, oh, wow. And, I repost it. I think about it while I'm driving. And then, I get home, I start to tappity tap on the keyboards and then I'm off to the races. So I want to thank you, Dan, for all that useful information that you cluttered my brain with. I'm just gonna.
Well, thanks for allowing me to spam your ass.
Yes, sir. And this next is, I don't believe I got this next story from you, but I'm gonna set it up here. Give me 1 second. I'm calling this segment life.
You believe in banning abortions, right?
Hang on. I'm calling this segment life or lazy. Now, for the folks that don't know who the Breakfast Club is, the Breakfast Club is the highest rating performer in history this year, ranking number 1 in New York among adults 18 to 49 and adults 25 to 54. The show posted double-digit shares, marking a new milestone for the program in its home market. The show currently is on air with hosts DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, and Charlemagne the God. Now, if you don't know who Charlemagne the God is, he's the guy that Joe Biden. Hey, Dan, I think you're frozen. Move your head back. You are definitely frozen, dude.
Am I? You want me to restart here? Or?
I think you're zoning me out or something. You do what my wife does when I'm talking to her and I've been talking too long. She just kind of points her face in my general direction and nods every 5 minutes. Because
Can you hear me yet?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine, but
Okay,
you're frozen. Like,
what do you want me to do? Restart or what?
Here, let me see if there's something I can do on my end. No. Oh, yeah. Everything looks fine on my end, so you might want to restart there.
All right.
Yeah, and while he's doing that, I'll break down the. So Charlemagne the God, in air quotes, is the guy that Joe Biden told, if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. They reach over 6.6 million listeners nationwide. The program is nationally syndicated. In my humble opinion, it caters to the low information voter. Now, I say this because all the Democrats run to be on the show. It's a garbage show, in my humble opinion. I never watch it. Kamala Harris was on there hacking it up like a hyena. Joe Biden went on there. All of the Democrats, like Jasmine Crockett and all those idiots, because it's a popular market with minorities and the hip hop crowd, the rap crowd, that sort of crowd. And the thing that really struck me with this clip is the fact that these people are absolute idiots. Like, I don't understand. Ben Shapiro had to dial his IQ down just to speak to these people. It was unbelievable. Here, I'm gonna see if I got Dan back here.
I don't think I don't know. It's not coming up.
I got your audio. I do not have your visual though.
Yeah, that's weird.
Here, I'm gonna toggle that audio on. Give me 2 seconds here. Oh, come on now.
Well, if you can hear me, that's fine too. We don't have to stop the show.
Yeah, but man, that's not cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Let's see if that'll do it. Nope, that didn't do it either.
I think it's on my end. Let me try it one more time. You go ahead and keep talking. I'll jump back in.
Okay. Yep, he's going to try to hop back in here. But anyway, so I'm going to play this clip. Basically, Ben Shapiro had to turn down his intellect just to have a conversation with these chuckle nuts. And I thought it was hilarious. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the interview. I have condensed it down for time. But, and in case anyone is wondering, everyone that knows me should understand that I am unabashedly pro-life. 100%. I am not a caveat guy. Like I said before, I believe life starts at conception. I believe that when John the Baptist, when his mom was speaking to Mary and little John in his mother's womb jumped for joy, I believe that is proof positive that life begins in the womb. So I'm a personhood guy. So I completely understood where Ben was coming from, because if you are, in my humble opinion, if you are pro-life, you're just simply pro-life. The argument that he's having with these people is, one, the women are selfish. Like this woman that is speaking never speaks to that fact. It's all about her. And I think that's a problem in our society. But I'm going to digress for a second, and I'm going to let this play. So here we go.
I'm pro-life, yes.
Even in cases of incest and rape?
Yes.
Why?
Because this is a sort of a fundamental definitional question. If you believe life begins at conception, then regardless of the source of the life, it now has an independent interest in life. So that is not to minimize the tremendous evil of rape or incest. I believe rapists should be executed, frankly, or chemically castrated at best. But that's a different question from the independent source of life, and whether this, again, it gets back to definitions. And this conversation tends to be either you're on one side of that or the other. If you don't believe life begins at conception, then obviously you believe abortion is acceptable in a wide variety of circumstances. If you believe it's an independent life deserving of protection, then you believe it's an independent life deserving of protection.
Lauren, what do you think about that? That's one.
I think that a woman should be able to choose to do what she wants to do wherever she decides to do it. I believe that women should be able to abort babies if they want to, if they feel like that's what they need to do.
Do you have a time limit on that, out of curiosity?
I mean, I think it should happen earlier on if it were me making a decision for myself. But I think it's up to the woman and what she's personally experiencing and what she personally went through. I really think it's a per person thing.
Now, I want you to understand something here. Yeah, Dan, I still don't have your camera. I don't know if you're trying to speak.
I can hear you.
Okay, all right. Can you see the video that I'm playing?
Yep. I can see all that.
Okay. So right here is one indication that they're kind of talking past each other. And you can see Ben Shapiro kind of dial back his intellect a little bit, because she's all about her. She's all about herself. She's like, me. Doesn't mention the baby once. But here we go.
I think just from personal experience, I've been in a situation. I just think emotionally and mentally, it's less that you think about, but it does.
So it's less than you think about. Like, I don't even understand that line of logic. But here we go.
How you think of when the life is formed, or should be looked at as like a life that you.
Right. So that I think is the big question, and that's where the disconnect is. But
what I'm saying is that's always going to be different for each person.
But I don't think that the subjective definition of life is how we define life. Meaning that you being uncomfortable with a woman having an abortion in the 9th month, you're saying that just because you're uncomfortable with it, that doesn't mean that you should stop a woman from doing that. My point is that life has a definition, right? We all agree, for example, that a 1-month-old baby should not be drowned. Right? We all agree on that. And that's not up to the personal, should not be drowned. You shouldn't take a baby and drown in a bathtub, right? And the question is, well, why? Because we now understand that the 1-month-old baby, everyone agrees with this, right? That except for Peter Singer at Princeton, that a 1-month-old baby has an independent interest in life, right? That is a life that is separate from the woman and requires protection.
So, him making this argument here, I understand it completely. And I didn't, this interview went on for quite some time. I didn't get it all. I got some of it. But you'll see, he'll break this thing down into the essential components for these idiots. And what you're going to notice is it always comes back to selfishness with them. Always. It always comes back to whether or not the woman is comfortable carrying the kid. Always. Even when he concedes, right. And you'll see him concede here in just a bit. Even when he concedes, and I have done this, even though I don't agree with the whole rape and incest thing, because it's like less than 1% of the reason women get abortions. It's less than 1%. But so even if I concede that, they're still not going to concede even a heartbeat, because it's all about the woman. It depends on where I am in life, how I feel, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to let this play a little bit more.
Okay, so if it is a life, then we now have an objective definition. It doesn't matter what the state of mind of the woman is. It doesn't matter if she thought, you know what, I have a really tough life. My life will be better off if this baby is drowned, if I don't have to deal with this baby, and so I'm going to drown the baby. The baby has an independent actual interest in living. And so the question becomes, is that true before birth? And I think for the vast majority of Americans are actually somewhere where you are practically, meaning that the vast majority of Americans do see in sort of a soft way a distinction between, the early stages of life, month 2 and 9 month, right? Like the approval in America of abortion at the very late stages is very, very low because most Americans.
It stops around like 4 or 5 months for most people, right?
Well,
like,
most abortions are performed in the first trimester.
Yeah.
Yes. But the point that I'm making is that the logic that you're using allows for abortion like literally right before the baby is born. And so then the question becomes, why is that okay? And it's not a woman's choice at that point, whether that is a life or not, because you don't get to artificially or subjectively define the meaning of things.
We're playing with semantics, though. But
yeah, that's what
Now, listen to the rebuttal. They're saying he's playing with semantics, and he's not. It's not semantics. It's a kid, and this is my humble opinion. It's not semantics, but they have been indoctrinated to believe so I'm going to take 2 steps back here. For some time now, I have been talking about how, especially in minority communities, liberals have effectively divorced the value of life from the individual. It's why violence runs rampant. It's why the murder rate is so much higher in minority communities, because they don't see that imago Dei in their fellow man, all the way down to the unborn. They don't see the imago Dei there. And for the folks that are listening, that they may not be familiar with that phrase. The imago Dei is the image of God. We are all image bearers of God. I'm not going to get preachy. But I believe that we are all image bearers of God. I believe that when we're born, that is imprinted on our DNA. And the reason people can so easily dismiss other people is because they don't see that. They have allowed the spirit of the age, let's just call it that. They have allowed the spirit of the age to cloud their vision. So they can't see that. Like when we saw Eli on the ultrasound, it was a very emotional day for this gruff, salty old host of yours. I thought it was a beautiful thing. Another reason why they don't want women seeing their ultrasounds, like there are organizations out there that have been working for legislation where you have to at least let the woman, the mother to be, see the ultrasound before she gets an abortion. And I believe that that's a good thing, because you can't lie to yourself if you do that. Like if you have an abortion after you see the ultrasound, then you're just saying, okay, I can legally murder this kid, so I am. Like there's no delineation anymore. There's no clump of cells. There's none of that. You see the kid. You see it sucking its thumb. You see it moving around. You see its heartbeat. You see all of that. That's a person. But you'll see in this it's not even a debate. In this conversation, it always goes back to the woman. It always goes back to what I call lazy logic. I'm going to let it play a little bit longer here.
It's like either it's a life or it's not a life, right?
If your daughter was raped.
No,
it's almost like you're saying she's raped, but I'm going to make her have this child.
No, I mean,
because you're saying you don't believe in abortion, even if rape and incest, right?
What I'm saying there is that I don't believe in abortion in cases of rape and incest. The practical effect is horrible. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to pretend that it is not emotionally horrifying, that particular situation.
Mm-hmm.
The question is whether it has an independent interest in life or not, and whether there is a third party involved. If you don't believe there's a third party deserving of protection, I totally get it. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But we should understand that that's the actual conversation. The actual conversation is about whether you believe that this is an interested third party being. Do you get to kill that interested third party being, this human life with potential, or do you not? If you, and so the actual argument that I don't like is the idea that you can that everybody, it's up to every single person to define when life begins and when life does not begin. That actually is not true, right? There's either a standard or there's not a standard. Now, you can say that life begins when the baby is independent of the mom. I think it's a very dicey biological argument, and I think most Americans agree with that life only begins when the baby exits.
I think it begins with the heartbeat.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's where most Americans are, and that's extremely early, right? And so if the life begins with the heartbeat, then you're now talking about.
Now, you hear the lady over there say, yes, yes, yes. And you hear Charlemagne, which surprised me with the whole heartbeat thing. He thinks it happens much later. But that did surprise me that he said, well, I believe it begins with the heartbeat. But what I want you to understand is the longer this conversation goes, the more their pro-choice logic falls apart. They're still pro-choice, but their logic falls apart.
Depending on your definition of a heartbeat, somewhere between 6 and 10 weeks, right? Very, very, very early. And so if that now has an independent interest, you're talking about abortion restrictions very early on. And so that's why, a lot of red states have signed heartbeat laws, for example. Right? And so, again, I think that the clarity is good, right? Because now we can have a conversation. Where do you think life begins? And that's a better conversation than the sort of assumption by, I think, people who are not pro-life, that pro-life is just about controlling the woman's body. No, it isn't. Okay, it really is not. Like for pro-lifers, it has literally nothing to do with the woman's body. It has to do with the independent interest of the life inside the woman and how you define that.
But once you define it, depending on your definition, it does control what a woman can.
And that's where it goes back to. Like, you can watch the entire, hour of this thing. It always goes back to, well, you're controlling the woman's body. Like, everything that they just talked about so to break it down in bite-sized points, his entire argument is that life at conception creates an independent interest in living. That's the kid. And it doesn't matter how the life was created, you still have an independent interest in life in that kid. So, as horrible as rape, and I'm with him. You rape a woman, you should be hung, shot, drawn and quartered, hot tar and feathers, strapped around a rail, kept alive so you could feel everything, all of that. I'm all over all of that. But the evil of rape does not, in my humble opinion, does not condemn the kid to death. And to me, that's evil. She's not even making that argument. She's like, well, you're still controlling a woman's body. And again, this thing kind of goes on.
Can you hear me? Is my mic still working?
No, it does not. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to stop talking. I can hear you. So this thing kind of goes on and on and on, but I'm just gonna cut it off there. And I put these points in here. Life at conception creates an independent interest in living, regardless of how the life was created, and this and that. So I just wanted
there's more to it. There's more to that. Yeah, there's a DNA. The baby's DNA is different than the mother's DNA. It's a totally separate entity living inside the woman.
Yeah,
they're separate. It's not her body. It's a thing inside of her body.
And I believe that that's the disconnect. Like, again, if you listen to the entire interview, it always goes back to controlling the woman's body. That is the message that Democrats have been very, very successful at giving these minority communities. Republicans not even Republicans, because we have Judy Lee, and she's a pro-abort. So,
yeah,
right here, Laura repeatedly falls back on it. It's up to the woman and her person based on what she's personally experiencing. And she admits discomfort with very late-term abortion, but she won't draw that line because she, again, believes that her body is more important. And to me...
Did she make that choice? Did she make that choice herself? I mean, without the 1% of the rape or the incest, what is that other? It's a choice.
100%.
It's a choice. And in addition to that, let me even lose my point here for a second. Hold on. What they do is then they blame the man, but they're accused of rape, which 99% of the time they'll cry rape just to cover up infidelity from cheating on their spouse or their boyfriend, and they don't want to get caught with that social stigma. They don't want to have that. So they will actually go out and throw a man under the bus, throw him in prison for years just to hide their infidelity. And that's 99% of it. The other, I can go.
I don't know about 99%. I'm not going to.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I just threw that number out. I just threw that number out. I mean, but it is less than 1% of the rape and incest. But the rest of it is either I don't want the baby because it'll interfere with my business life. It wasn't in my plans, or I'm married and I don't want to get caught for my promiscuity. My husband can't have a baby with me, but I'm pregnant. How did that happen?
Yeah.
That kind of shit.
Yeah.
And they do that. They want to hide it.
They treat it like so I put this point up here. They treat it abortion as a private medical choice issue about the woman's body and life impact, not involving a separate human life. And I agree with you. I agree that there are tons, like the woman who started all of this the Roe versus what was it, Roe versus Wade. The Roe is that woman admitted lying. She had basically a party, let these guys have sex with her, were afraid because they were black guys, and said she was raped. But
was a side note? I'm sorry. Wasn't Hillary a lawyer on that?
I think so. I'm not 100% certain, but
I think she was a lawyer on that. Yep.
That whole thing, and she recanted. Like before it went to the Supreme Court, she recanted, and she was like, "Yeah, I don't want to be a part of that." They kicked that woman to the curb, and we had Roe versus Wade that entire time without Roe because they kicked her to the curb because she recanted her story.
Right.
So all of it was BS based on a lie. And again, if you listen to this entire interview, you hear this woman multiple times make exactly that argument. Well, basically, where you are in life and how you feel and whether or not you can have a kid and all of that. And my position is it doesn't matter where the kid is in life. It's still a kid.
I want to follow up too when you get a chance.
Oh, go right ahead.
Okay, so I also have been thinking about this a lot. And if the woman is going to cry rape or incest, that implies that there's a third party. Well, there's always a third party, the man, which they just conveniently forget. But fatherhood has lasted over 2,000, millions of years, however long the human race has been around. In the last 50 years, it's women's rights. But we had father's rights forever with that. And so what I suggest is you have to go to court to get an abortion. If it's going to be a rape or incest, you better have at least a police report saying that you got raped. You can't just use that as an excuse, go to the doctor. You need to inform the father if it's not rape. You need to have him have his choice in court because there are two parties. The third party is a child. And there's a father and a mother. Even though she says it's her body, it's their child. It's their DNA. I'm sorry, that's life. But go to court over that. Make them go to court. And if they don't want to go to court, they were promiscuous, they were embarrassed. Well, they might be embarrassed anyways, and that's logical. It can be a secret court. It doesn't have to be like a public court. You can have this in private proceedings. But yeah, so there's father's rights that need to be reintroduced into society over this. That's part of the problem with men. They have no say in anything in our culture anymore. It's all women driven. That's why our testosterone's dropped down. Everybody's just a little pussy anymore, You can't say anything. You can't say anything anymore because you get slapped down,
I agree.
And men are just beat down.
I agree. I think so the fathers have very little say now, and anything that has to do with like the family courts or whatever. And in this instance, like the most critical juncture of his life, he has no say. If he says, "Hey, no, you can't you can't murder my kid," the woman can say,
Right.
"Screw you." There's absolutely nothing he can do about it. Like literally zero that he can do about it. But if she wants him, if he says, "I don't want the kid," and she says, "Well, I'm keeping it," the government will force him to pay for the kid, to pay for her, for like the entire thing.
That's a double standard. Double standard.
Now, I believe that if you have a kid, you should take care of that kid. Period. It doesn't matter if the mom
100%.
is a garbage woman or I can't stand her or whatever. If that's your kid,
no, that's your child.
You take care of that kid, or there should be sock parties everywhere you go.
But I would get a DNA test.
100%. 100%. We got smart people in the comments. Some time ago, when My Body, My Choice was the drive-by media hot button, I remember seeing a lady saying she had 6 abortions. And I remember this. I remember the shout your abortion. Shout your abortion.
They're proud of it. They're proud of it.
Yeah. It is a sick culture that they enjoy. They revel in a death culture. Like if nothing about the left is life. Nothing. Homosexuality does not breed life. It doesn't. Transgenderism does not breed life. Abortion murders life at the altar of Moloch. All of that. Roe, Norma, yep, you're right. McCorvey later in life became a hugely religious person and spent the last years of her life going to people and telling them it was a mistake. You're 100% right. And I wanted to bring this story to you guys because, again, I'm a huge pro-life guy. But the second point that I wanted to make sure that you understand is the information that these people, the low information people are getting, it's not the information that you're used to ingesting. It is dumbed down. It is lazy logic. They have not been forced to sit down and rationalize the actions that they're taking or the actions that the Democrats are taking on their behalf. They've never had to do that. It's so lazy. Like no one has ever made them sit down and think about, wait a minute, that's a life. The argument isn't whether or not you're happy or not. The argument is this a life worth protecting? Does this, and all of those people, you'll see, they have crosses on. Some of them have tattoos of crosses on. They're Christian. So when you look at that kid or that ultrasound, you don't see the Imago Dei? No, it's because you're not really a Christian. You're a Christian in name only. And I'm going to digress. And we'll wrap
that's
this
why
up.
they call the devil the great deceiver. He's the liar.
100%. And he's also the angel of light. He will make you believe. Like, I have no doubt that woman, and even those men there, they think that they're third-wave feminists, and they're standing up for women's rights and women's bodies and all of that stuff. But they're doing it stupidly because they don't understand. They don't understand that they're supposed to be the protectors of innocent life. They've given that moniker up. I mean, they're in the hip-hop culture, so they think that machismo and testosterone is like holding up your glicky and holding it sideways and, that all of the garbage that does nothing but steal life out of those communities. When the thing that they should be doing, the thing that they should be doing is protecting that life. We've been, as a culture, and I'm just going to speak for me because I'm the black guy here. I don't know if there are any black guys in the chat yet, but we've been
No penis jokes.
No. But we've been kind of holding steady at this whole 13% for quite some time now. There's a reason for that, guys. Seriously. In my humble opinion, metropolises are vacuum chambers of and billboards all day that could brainwash the residents a little at a time. You can see it in anyone you know that has moved to one. I 100% agree with that. I'm liking moving into an urban area. I think that concrete and steel poisons you. I think the only remedy to that poison is gravel and grass, which is why I'm out in the middle of nowhere. There you go. Leon Francis, Blackbeard Logic. Dan, you want to add anything?
I was just going to say that 13% hasn't changed. It's because Planned Parenthood targeted black neighborhoods, inner cities. They actually targeted that. Margaret Sanger and Bill Gates' dad worked at different times with Margaret Sanger during that.
100%. And again, if you followed me for any amount of time, this is a thing. I used to be the guy standing up right there on the corner of NP and I think it was 4th Ave in Fargo, where they had the Planned Parenthood, the abortion mill, before we successfully got it shut down. I was standing out there trying to get young girls to understand the precious gift that they had inside of them. There's nothing that I could ever do, despite what the liberals say, to even come close to being able to give the world the gift that a woman can give the world. And you're going to let demonic people take that from you.
I have one more thing to say before you go on break here. Okay, so a lot of people don't like war, and I don't like war, and I don't like death or dying. But I do think that even though it's against our Constitution, I think we should have conscripted service for at least like 2 years in the military. Men need to work together, get that camaraderie, that men fighting spirit back together to embolden men. Look at Pete Hegseth and his attitude
100%.
to bring back that masculine trait to our country again. You were talking about soy boys, and that's why I have to say that right now before I forget. We have to bring that masculinity back. This is what we're lacking. These women need this. They don't know they need this, but they need that in their lives. I mean, they crave it, but they don't know they crave it. It's because our natural abilities, that's okay. I'd stop.
Yeah. So 2 seconds on this. Back when I had the Common Sense Club, I used to talk about this all the time. One of the most harmful things that the liberals ever did to the African American household was convince the females that they could be strong, independent black women. They didn't need no man, that whole thing. And yeah, you do. When God created Adam was naming all the animals and all of this stuff, and it was good. But then God said, he's looking at Adam and he's like, this guy kind of going by himself, that's not a good thing. I'm going to make him a mate. Made him a mate. Well, everything didn't happen rosy, but that's another story altogether. But the original design for mankind was that blueprint. You break that blueprint, you get the ghettos. You get the barrios. You get the trailer parks. When kids don't have a mom and a dad in the home, it's a big flipping deal. And I'm going to bust a lot of feminist bubbles right now. So stick with me. Did you know that kids fare better with a single father household than a single mother household? Did you know that? They fare better. They fare far worse in a single mother household. So you have to ask yourself, why did they push the opposite narrative all that time in the ghettos. Strong, independent black woman. You don't need no man. Why did they do that? There was a strategy involved there.
Right.
Why did Margaret Sanger push like Planned Parenthood as, reproductive freedom and reproductive rights and all of that stuff? If you could divorce the Imago Dei, the personhood, the image bearer of God from that kid, if you could break that from the mom, you could break anything. Like that should blow your mind. And women need men. I don't know how. Yeah. And you don't just need them as a helpmate or a companion. You need men to help build the infrastructure that makes you comfortable enough to sit back and yell at us and say, "Hey, you're not doing this right, and you're not blah blah blah." This and that. The iPads, the bridges, the roads, the houses, the trees that are felled for the wood for this desk, the oil that is pumped out of the ground to run your cars, the petroleum products that go into your lipstick, the wire mesh that's in your bra, like every single thing that makes your life comfortable, men have been toiling to make for you. And we will gladly do that for a smile. We'll do that for a smile. We don't ask a whole lot, dude. Yet you're demonized.
We just want to be loved. We just want to be loved like anybody. We want it. We want our family. We want to be loved. We want a woman that's going to embrace us and lift us up.
100%.
That's what it's supposed to be. They're supposed to support us, and we're supposed to support them. We go to God. They raise us up. We that's just the way it is.
My thing is, God made me to be a blessing, to raise up women and children and protect and provide and defend them. That's like my mission statement. If I am a good Christian man, I am a great father, I am a great husband, I'm a great son, I'm a great community leader, I'm a great American citizen. I defend and protect. That's my purpose. God also gave women a specific purpose. And when those two things are met, it is a beautiful thing that builds us. It is the cornerstone of society. And for some just outlandish reason, we have lost that train of thought. Like nobody even talks like that anymore. Like people are watching me right now going, "Good God, how old is that guy?" Anyway, I'm going to go to break. I'm going to calm down. Leon Francis, Blackbeard Logic. Dan, you got me off on a tangent, man. See that? You see what you did to me? We'll be right back right after this break from our sponsors.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro-Second Amendment, America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. LAUER Auto is your pro-Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro-Second Amendment, pro-North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right, go where lemons go. Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just 1 block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon. Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul's, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton Lasercraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved.
Welcome back. Dan, I don't know what's going on here. We're going to figure this out before the next podcast. You're still dark. I can hear you. I can hear you moving around right now.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Maybe my camera's failing, but his lights on. Everything is working on my end. The OBS is all lit up. I just don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. I mean, I like having the beard, man. A couple of bearded dudes just kind of chopping it up.
Well, we're going to do this again. Don't worry.
100%. Eileen A. Wolf, first time watching, very interesting. I do agree. I appreciate that. Like, sometimes it feels like you're just kind of yelling into the void, and I think a lot of us, we get inundated with all these talking heads. You got talking heads telling women that men are horrible and they hate you and blah blah blah. And then on the other side, you got the what I call toxic alpha male personalities. I'm not going to name any names or anything, but they're the entire left. They're the other side of that argument, and they're like, women are nothing but this, that, and the other thing, and they're horrible. Why would you get married? If you have someone in your ear telling you, why would you ever get married? Dump that dude. Because you need the thing that humbles you, the thing that gives you purpose in life, the thing that fulfills your entire masculine being is starting a family. That's why God gave you the testosterone, the strong bones, the ability to work long hours without sleep and lift heavy things and learn how to defend and all of the stuff that you think comes naturally. God gave you that so you could procreate, have a family, and continue the line. That's why you are here. And if the guy talking to you is not telling you that, he is a bad friend. And I'm going to just leave that there. And I am going to also say this. So the discussion that we were talking about between Ben Shapiro and the Breakfast Club was two completely different conversations. One side was debating, and this is Ben Shapiro, he was debating the objective truth about when human life with rights began. The other side, they were debating subjective autonomy. And you'll see liberals do this a lot. The whole my body, my choice is an subjective autonomy. It is not an objective truth. So they're in, and this is when I think about my worldview and how it differs from Democrats and liberals, and a lot of folks that I grew up with. Oh my God, what just happened? Hang on.
I don't know. I can still hear you, see you.
Oh, okay. That was just me. I hit something weird here. Everything went black, and I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, no, again with the black. Again with the black.
No pun intended, damn it. But anyway, what was this? Oh, okay, yeah. So when I think about my worldview and like the folks that I grew up with and the environment that I was in, and even now that I was able to get myself out of that and be out in God's country, touching grass and gravel and all of that stuff. And you sit and you think of how effective that they were, even now today, even when you think of what's objective truth and subjective autonomy, everything kind of makes sense. When you have like the LGBTQ militia out there, that encapsulates their entire worldview. When you have the trans issues, encapsulates that whole worldview. When you have the abortion issue, that's it. It's all subjective autonomy. There's no objective truth. They reject objective truth. And you have to do that in order to maintain that delusion. You can't have objective truth in there. And I'll give you the last word on that, and then we're going to move on to the next.
Yeah, you have to base yourself on facts, and that's why logic is important. You have to. The objective truth is a logical conclusion, and it's a consensus of everybody throughout time. Your subjective is your sense of reality, which may be distorted. You know, it's based on your personal views and visions. It's not based on fact. It's just on how you see things. So that's the difference between those. And yeah, it's a big difference, and people confuse that all the time. They want to say that's their reality. Well, it's not reality. It's your reality, but it's not the reality. You know, there's it's distorted.
Oh man, I used to hate, like, this was like fingernails on a chalkboard to me whenever I heard this phrase of your reality, my reality.
Yeah.
Do you remember when that was a thing? And I'm like, wait, there's only one reality.
Right.
It's the thing that we're living. That's reality. You can't have your reality and somebody's lying. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Again, my reality, you know, like say I'm a 18-year-old guy and I'm out on a bender with a bunch of friends, and there's a 17-year-old girl, and she's like blasted, and she allows me to put my arm around her. My reality is, oh wow, she really likes me. Her reality is, I'm drunk, I'm about to fall down, and I need something to hang on to. And here's some idiot here, I'll put my armor. Now, if those realities get mixed up, the dude's in a lot of trouble. You know?
He's thinking, oh, you got a chance, you know? Then he goes to make the first move, and he gets, you know.
Yeah. It could end up very badly if you don't have objective truth. It's live your truth. Yeah, that's the phrase. Live your truth.
Mike Tyson had objective truth, you know. Getting punched in the mouth. That's objective truth. You know? It's gonna hurt.
In the mouth, but you're like, oh, here's a little objective truth.
Yeah.
we're going to move on to this Muzzi Ninjas. Let's see what they got.
Have you
for
noticed
us
a
here.
change in sort of Democrat?
Now, I'm going to set this one up. This is a English bloke, you know? And over there, and you guys got to understand, these people have been demonized.
Oh, they've been
there are people in jail for speaking out against what's going on in England.
Tommy Robinson, right?
Yeah, Tommy Robinson, perfect example. Yeah. They have literal rape gangs running around. And if you say anything about them, the cops will knock on your door and you will be taken down to the station and given a citation to come to court. They have hate speech mandates. So the first time I watched this, I was like, well, this guy's an idiot. But then the more I thought about it, I'm like, there's no way he's going to say anything on camera, you know? But I just want you guys to see if you notice what I noticed as I play this.
People who live. Have you noticed a change in sort of demographics, the people who live here and so on?
Not particularly.
Whoop. Here I come. Oh, here I come.
See that?
I don't see. It hasn't changed in any great deal, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
Everything that guy just said is bullshit.
Thank you. So I'm watching this, and I don't know if you can see it. So you saw those two women pass behind him, but there were also two more that passed in front of him. So you couldn't see them, but you could see them in the reflection. And I wasn't able to dig down into that. I'm going to see if I can
in any great deal.
Stop it. Hang on. No. So I'm going to see if I can stop it. There were actually 4 of them.
See, he notices them. He notices
see that?
them.
So her shadow isn't even in there yet. But if you go back a little bit, you can see there's 1, 2. Did you see that? Walking back there.
Any great deal, to be honest with you.
And you'll see another one. Well, it didn't. Yeah.
Anyways.
Everything that guy just said is bullshit.
Right. 100%.
Yeah, but he can't talk out, especially when they're hearing him, because they're the ones that are going to have him arrested for saying anything anti-Muslim, anything like that over there. They get thrown in prison.
And if you have to understand what's going on over there. If you haven't been following what's going on in the EU, what's going on so in Spain, they just had a girl. So they have assisted suicide over there. And this is probably one of the saddest stories I've ever heard. So they imported like millions of the third world over there in Spain because, liberals like that whole, pat themselves on the back and feel like they're magnanimous. I mean, to hell with the population there, the folks that actually built Spain, to hell with those guys. Anyway, this girl, when she was like 17, she was out with some friends, and she basically got kidnapped and gang raped by a bunch of dudes. All of them African immigrants. She jumped out of a 5th-story window to get away from them. And she ended up becoming a paraplegic. Now, the sad part about it is she has been suicidal for 3 years. And because they have these laws there, the father has been fighting against his daughter because his daughter wants to die. And I think last week she won her appeal. And her father could do nothing but allow her to die. That's how bad it is over there. And you probably never even heard that.
I haven't heard that. Nope, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, you should type that in, like a Grok search or something.
Yeah, I will.
Not to mention the amount of third world immigrants that they have been importing into these European countries, the amount of damage they've been doing in those countries, and then the laws that those countries enact against their own citizens.
Sharia.
Speaking out. No. This is these people's governments, because they're liberal, progressive. They enacted laws against the actual citizens that were noticing all the crime and all the rape and all the just garbage that has been injected into their societies.
But isn't that partially because of the Islam part? I mean, with the Muslim coming in, they changed the law.
100%.
See, they changed the laws to that.
No, and so I agree with that, because London had a Muslim mayor. They're doing the same. They're trying to do that here, and they are doing it in large part. I mean, we have a ton of Muslim representatives, and we have Dearborn, Michigan. We have big Muslim communities in Texas.
Even in Fargo. You're 100% right. Minneapolis with little Somalia. We're supposed to ignore all of the garbage that comes from importing a third world country. Over here, we can talk about it. If I were in the EU and I were saying the things that I'm saying right now, I'd have a cop knocking at my door and hauling me out for saying that. And we know this because it's happened.
Because it's happened over and over and over again. Nobody would know who Tommy Robinson is had this not been a thing, you know.
And he went to prison. He got beat up every day in prison. They did. Oh man, he got tortured, but he's still out there fighting. He's still here.
He's still fighting. And so I wanted to bring you this story because I want you to understand that the things that are happening over there is because those societies are not set up like ours is and was. We still have safeguards here. We're allowing them to be eroded. And when people like John Thune and all these chuckle nuts, these Republicans, and again, I'm going to rant for a minute. You guys are not, shocked or surprised or anything by that, right? Nobody is surprised that I'm going to rant for a second here. But give me 2 minutes. That's going to be my new catchline, man. Give me 2 minutes here. Give me 2 minutes. The fact of the matter is, I don't think Republicans have been attacking this illegal immigration, as they should. I think that the entire, let's just unpeel this onion. I think that the whole anchor baby theory, the strategy, is a garbage one, and the fact that Republicans have allowed this thing to progress as far as it has, to understand. And I love Trump for this. Trump was the first white Republican I ever heard challenge that. And when he said it, I think I might have spit some beer out of my mouth. I'm like, I've been saying this forever. The whole anchor baby thing. That was for the children of the freed slaves. That's what it was for. And we allowed these chuckle nuts to take that and then import the third world with it. Democrats have no friggin' shame, man. Again,
1872 or 1873, one of those, right?
Yeah. It was because Democrats back then, they had gotten their butts kicked. The slaves were free; they were free men, and so their answer to that was, outside of the KKK and the lynchings and all of that stuff the Democrats did back then, because they were so pissed off that they let those slaves go. But
they're still pissed off.
They're still pissed off. But anyway, so they were like, "Oh, I know how we can do this. None of these guys can vote because none of these guys are citizens." And So the answer to that by Republicans was, no, we're not doing that garbage. And they did a thing that was a good thing at the time. So this whole anchor baby thing was never made for Mexicans coming over. Like, there is a literal industry. Chinese people will put.
They got hijacked.
These are people with money. They'll put their wives on a plane. They'll send them over here when they're pregnant, so they can drop the kid over here, and the kid is now an American citizen. Like, make that make sense. Make that make sense. It does not. The whole 3/5 clause, like that whole thing. They're Democrats again are refrying it like refried beans. They're throwing it in the pan, warming it up again, slapping it on your burrito, and they're like, hey, apportionment. We don't want like during with the census. This is why I'm for census reform. The original intent of the census was to count the American citizens here. Democrats turn that on its head, flood the country with illegals, and now Democrats have all these districts because they're the ones doing this illegal action, allowing all these millions of people to come into this country, and so now those people owe them, and now they get counted in the census for apportionment. How do you think someone that as dumb as a box of, not even as a box of good, muddy rocks, dirty rocks that you kick off the bottom of your shoe after you've been walking in the cow pasture all day?
Now, Leon, there's one more thing too. Are you forgetting about Cuba? See, when you're Cuban, you could actually come across the ocean. If you touch the soil, you're a citizen.
Like everything that has been done to the American citizen, and this is a testament to how patient we are, some of us, and it's also a testament to how many Republican men whose nuts haven't dropped yet. But that's a whole nother story. Don't get me started on that. But the fact of the matter is, we have this massive problem with immigration. I don't think the SAVE Act goes far enough. I think the H1, and I've done shows on this. I've got a bunch of shorts on Spotify addressing this. But the H1B visa is a huge scheme, where they get all these H1B visas in here. They get people from third world countries over here. None of those people work for those companies, though. They have on paper that they're making $100,000 a year. And some of them have as many as 20, 40 workers. You can see it on the H-1B visa application, how much they're making. None of those people ever see an office. Where are those people?
Didn't Trump raise the price of the H-1B visa to like $10,000 per application?
I think that's a good start.
Yeah, I mean, just so it's not that easy like you were talking about. I mean, it used to be like that.
Yeah. Had Kamala won, the Democrats had the House and Senate, we'd already have hate speech 100%. But let's vote against Trump and the Republicans this fall. No, brother, no. I'm not saying that at all, not even a little bit. It is a conundrum. It's not even a conundrum. I'm sick and tired of Republicans, especially when they want to get elected, saying, oh, you don't want to rock the boat here. You don't want the Democrats in power, because that's the line of garbage they've been feeding us for quite some time. And it seems to me they are the opposition party, even when they're in power. They're like, hey, you don't want to do anything to rock this boat because you know how crazy the Democrats are. Yeah, but when you get in there, what do you do? What are you doing for us? Again, in past streams, I've said this. I know people who fly MAGA flags but hire illegal immigrants to build and to build out and to deconstruct and to do all these things. I know this. So I'm supposed to sit on my hands. I don't think so. The problem with the Republicans is that they aren't as committed to saving this country as the Democrats are committed to destroying it. And I 100% agree with that. 100%. And man, I've been talking for this has been longer than 2 minutes.
The reason for that is because they're a block. They're all committed to destroying. Where we're all living our individual lives. We're not actively grouping up and resisting that. We're just like taking it individually, each one of us.
100%. I think that what we need is strong Republican leadership. Leadership that says, like, we built these systems that basically insulate itself against any like Trump type force that comes in there. Like it does not matter. Like I wanted Trump to be more Trump the second time around. I wanted him in there breaking stuff. But
he is.
No, he's really not. The system has insulated. If Trump was breaking stuff, all of his recent.
No, I mean in a good way, like just shaking it all up, like taking the snow globe and just making the flakes fly.
I don't know if we're going to have another person or a personality that is as strong as Trump to get done what needs to be done. And I don't think he has the time to do it. We have people like Thune in there that are slow walking on purpose. Things that will help us.
That's why we have to step up as men. We can't rely on other people. We have to do our part, each one of us. And we're doing ours to like some small extent right now by talking about it, and other people can hear us. But everybody's got to step up for that. I mean, if they want to save our country, we have to. This is it.
And you have to be vocal. And you can't allow, like I saw that little whiner soy boy beta dude at the forum. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And he's all butthurt about not being invited to the
his little surrogate Dustin Garlow 2.0 support. I think Dustin shouldn't be allowed to the convention either. I think he should be just kicked out like Port, because they're both the same. Just one's light, one's like Port light,
and here lately, I've kind of reconnected with Dustin, and we've had conversations. He's not as far gone as Port is. Like Port is just done. That dude, like there's nothing but soy coming out of that boy. Nothing but.
But you look at it, they agree with everything. Talking back and forth.
I have friends who are friends with them. And I see them on their page agree, and I'm just like, what are we doing?
I don't get it. It.
It blows my, and I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to do that.
Sorry, I did.
No. I don't care about Porter Garlow. Well, I care about Garlow because I think he does
a good job. I actually care about him, but I've tried to talk to him because I think he's cutting his own throat. This is his business, but he's cutting down half his franchise just to make what? You got to be neutral in his job.
Like I see these people saying things like ICE agents, because I made the argument that they've always done what they're doing. They just have never met the resistance and then these other people would say, no, they've never been this aggressive. They've never been this blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, we never had like 20 million people flood our country and be allowed in by Democrats and Republicans. Like you don't get 20 million people to flood your country without there being a uniparty. That does not happen. Like Republicans are complicit in that also. So let's get that straight.
Chamber of Commerce too. Chamber of Commerce.
100%.
Because they want the work. They want the workers for the businesses.
Dude, in my past streams, I've laid that out in blinding clarity that Republicans, especially the Bush-type Republicans, want that cheap labor. It keeps the wages down. I can't scream that loud enough in the minority communities. Dude, they're not helping you. When they were busing in those millions of, well, not millions, but tens of thousands of illegals into Chicago, and they were putting them up in the schools that the kids were supposed to have like extracurricular activity in to help keep them off the street. You didn't understand that then. You didn't understand that, like electing that liberal idiot, that soy boy mayor of Chicago. When you got him in there, he was going to do everything that brain dead Biden told him to do. You didn't understand that. You didn't understand that when they bring those people in, all your services get strained. Everything that you have gets strained, and you don't have a lot. You don't have a lot.
Do you remember the Chicago went back with the 80s and 90s, the Chicago Bears? I mean, they were just tough people. They were a solid crowd. They were all workers, hard people. Now look at them. Look what they got. It just drives me nuts, you know?
They're cowed. They're cowed now. Like, I'm seeing some glimmers of hope in there. Have you ever watched some of the city council meetings?
Yes, I did. I saw that.
There are a lot of black people that are standing up. There's this one in particular, this black grandma. Oh, my God, she goes hard in the paint. And I love to see it. But we need more of that.
And I saw a couple black guys talking too. You know, they do. They're standing up now.
We need much more of that. All right, I bloviated on that point for far too long. Now I'm gonna hit this. I probably should hit a break. Yeah, I want to hit at least 2 per hour. So I don't want anybody dropping me. Leon Francis, Blackbeard Logic, with my good buddy Dan Hager from Hager TV. We'll be right back right after this break.
Hey, it's Leon Francis from Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. I'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors. Stay tuned.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro-Second Amendment, America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
LAUER Auto is your pro-Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro-Second Amendment, pro-North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
I am Leon Francis, and this is Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm gonna have to hit this story kind of quick because I do want to get to my Feel Good Friday segment. I am Leon Francis, your host of Blackbeard Logic, and you can't see him now, but he does have a fabulous black beard. Also, it's salt and pepper, a little skunky, but it's a magnificent, magnificent beard. But that's Dan Hager of Hager TV. I get a ton of my source materials from following him. So you guys should follow him. Where should they follow you?
On X probably would be better. Yeah, so, Dan Hager TV on X. Yeah.
Oh, it's Dan Hager TV. Yeah, follow him, subscribe, all of that good stuff. So this story, it has been a big story. It's a national story, but it's a local story. And the biggest story in Fargo this week has been the ongoing controversy surrounding the Angela Lip case involving wrongful arrest via facial recognition technology and the police handling of that investigation, along with the interagency disputes. So just kind of give you a little background in case you don't know. I'm positive you do, but just in case, Angela Lip is a grandmother from Tennessee who says she's never visited North Dakota. She was arrested in July 2025 at her home while babysitting by U.S. Marshals. Fargo police had identified her as a suspect in a bank fraud investigation based primarily on AI facial recognition, matching her to surveillance footage from incidents in April to May of 2025. She was then extradited, booked into Cass County Jail on October 30th, held over 5 months before charges were dismissed on December 24th of 2025, reportedly without Fargo investigators ever interviewing her in person. Now, if you're asking yourself, how the hell does something like that happen? Well, we have a little something called a chief of police, Dave Zabolinski, who is on his way out, and I believe 100% with 100% of every fiber in my being that it was this case that finally broke the camel's back, because his tenure has been rife with controversy. And every time his good friend, Mayor Mahoney, was able to step in and kind of quell the flames around this dude. I mean, this dude was a BLM supporter. He was a, what's the idiot's name that did not die from a foot or knee on his neck, but died because he crammed a bunch of crack down his stupid mouth and died because his heart burst from that. Yet that's a whole nother story. Can't get on that. We'll be here for 2 hours, man. But this guy nailed down and praised the Saint, what was his name? George Floyd. That was the idiot's name. Anyway, just a little aside, just tiny aside. I remember when that was happening, and I was on AM 1100 with Steve Hallstrom. We had a little round table going, and there was me, another guy that I thought was a conservative. He is a conservative, actually, still a good friend of mine, black guy. All of us were black except for Steve, and 2 liberals. And I was the only opposing opinion. And that, like, they were literally mad at me that I was not mad at the cop, and that I was like, hey, wait a minute. Like, we got to look at this whole thing. They were like, no, the video, the knee on the neck. And I'm like, wait, what happened before? Because, again, I'm not new at this. I remember the gentle giant Mike Brown and how they framed that whole thing. Do you remember that, Dan?
Not sure.
You remember Mike Brown, the gentle giant? Rush used to talk about him all the time. The whole hands up, don't shoot. That whole movement was around that dude. And
okay.
That dude had went in, strong arm robbed a store. Walked out of that store that he had strong arm robbed. The guy called the cops. The cop showed up. This guy fought with the cop, tried to get the cop's gun, got shot, never said hands up, don't shoot. That never happened. All of that was BS. But the only thing we saw on the TV was his high school picture where he had like a cap and gown on, and all. They never showed us the video that was widely available of him strong arm robbing this little Korean dude in his store with his homie. They never showed that. They never showed that the cop, had he not fought for his gun and shot that idiot, would have probably been dead. Never saw that. So I'm a little skeptical, when something like this. I got garbage shoveled at me from both sides of the aisle, but I stood on principle. I said, no, something stinks about this story. And again, this is the kind of person I am. The guy in Minneapolis, he has like a Mexican name. I'll think of it here in a minute. Starts with a C. That
Consuela?
Cop pulled him over. he legally could have a gun in Minneapolis. Don't know how he swung that. And he told the cop, Costello, I think his name was. The guy is a garbage guy. I'm just going to get that out of the way before anybody throws that in the comments. He was a garbage guy. They were smoking pot, him and his girlfriend, in the car with his kid in the back. That's a garbage person. I don't understand how he had a concealed carry permit, and he was 100% a druggie. So, St. Floyd of fentanyl, right? Justin, good deal. He got me, man. He got me. But this guy, despite him being a garbage person, and I stood up for this guy, he tells the cop, he's like, hey, I have a concealed carry permit. My firearm is right here. And the cop just opens up on it, like just right into the car. Wife is sitting there, kid in the back. Lead, I'm just going to say this, is a lot more harmful to the kid than marijuana. But they end up, this cop aerated this kid. And I'm like, wait a minute. That's not right. So it with me, it's not back to blue no matter who. It's not that.
It's individual. Yeah.
It is the individual case, and I am not, I think of myself as smart enough not to just go on the whole skin thing. Can you hear me still?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. My mic is playing tricks on me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Anyway, why is that light blinking there? Yeah, something is. Yeah, I'm going to have you
going
talk.
on tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to have you talk for a minute, and I'm going to try to rejigger this before I lose all audio. So, give me 2 seconds, folks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah, you can throw me under the bus here real quick. Yeah, I kind of remember that whole situation over there. That's crazy. That George Floyd, that was that was the summer of love, I believe, right? All those riots, all that stuff going on at the same time.
It was. That was the summer of love. Can you still hear me?
Yep, I can.
Awesome. I don't know what's going on here. Why are these lights blinking? Yeah, I better get through this thing, man. Anyway, I said all that, and we're way off of the subject. But here, I'm just gonna play this right now. Let me know if you lose my audio, and that way I can get in there.
I'll let you know.
Okay, here we go. So. This is Chief Zabolinski, who went on Scott Hannon and said, they didn't do anything wrong. But on March 25th, he went out there and he threw the sheriff's department under the bus. He was like, hey, we didn't know she was sitting in Cass County jail. And we're going to get to that in a minute. He also threw the West Fargo police department under the bus. And he's like, we're not going to use the West Fargo Police Department's AI system. Now, this is after he already had that conversation with Scott Hannon where he said nobody did anything wrong. And then he proceeded to
I remember you talking about this.
Who spent months behind bars after.
He pretty much proceeded to throw absolutely everybody under the bus. Now, I want you to hear this now. This is Sheriff Jesse Johnson.
Of the Angela Lips case, a Tennessee grandmother who spent months behind bars after an AI facial recognition system wrongly identified her as a bank fraud suspect. The Cass County Sheriff now pushing back, saying that his office was not responsible for alerting Fargo police that Lips was sitting in their jail. Valley News Team's Ethan Kramer has our story.
Fargo police say they didn't know Angela Lips was in custody until December 5th. But Valley News Live obtained an email showing 6 Fargo detectives were notified of her arrest back in July.
Wow.
Look at that.
Wow.
Like, Jesse Johnner was like, the hell you are going to throw us under the bus? He got receipts, dude.
Right back at you.
Earlier, Sheriff Jesse Johnner is speaking out, and he says the fault doesn't lie with his office.
That's not something that we do on a regular basis, and I know that kind of sounds weird, but it's not our case.
Johnner says after Lips was extradited and booked into his jail on October 30th, Fargo police had more than one opportunity to know she was there.
I also know that there was a booking report that was sent out to their agency that had Miss Lips on that particular booking report that was shared with the whole agency. So there are a number of ways that they were alerted.
He also points to a regional law enforcement records system where detectives could have set up an alert to be notified the moment Lips came into contact with law enforcement.
If an investigator or an agency is interested in a person, they can put that alert in that individual's jacket in that law enforcement management system. And then if anyone comes into contact with that person, then that detective would get notified that there's been contact.
Johnner says when it comes to monitoring suspects, the buck stops with the agency running the investigation.
At the end of the day, I mean, it's not the responsibility lies with the investigative agency. It's not the West Fargo Police Department. It's not the Cass County Sheriff's Office.
So there was no missing persons
in this particular case, the Fargo Police Department,
or anything like that put on her?
Suspects in their case and investigating those appropriately.
Lips charges were dismissed December 24th. In Fargo, Ethan Kramer, Valley News Live.
Was there no missing persons, like people that were missing her?
Well, people were missing her, but the federal marshals came in Tennessee. They picked her up. She was babysitting her grandkids. Can you hear me?
Yep.
You're good. She was babysitting her grandkids. They snatched her up, threw her in jail in Tennessee, held her there. Extradite. They worked with Fargo to get her extradited. Like, you can't just extradite someone from another state.
Right, that ain't easy.
Like judges signing off on that in communication. So they extradited her to Fargo, and then when when those guys got her in Cass County, contrary to what the police chief said. Jesse Johnner said, "Yeah, we notified like 6 people over there." And he also says that, like, if you have a case like this and you're extraditing someone from another state, you put a notation in their jacket that would automatically trigger an alert when that person comes into Fargo or has any interaction with, like, the sheriff's department. So if they're put in jail, or if the Fargo PD picks them up, they will be like, "Oh, well, you're wanted here," blah, blah, blah. Like, there are systems in place to catch. This was the dropping of the ball at every single level.
Okay. Did she not have access to a lawyer?
No. Not until when she got a lawyer. Well, they had her stuck. One, she has no money. Like, if she was a person with just a little bit of means,
yeah.
This was still story.
But still, yeah, it's crazy.
The fact of the matter is, they dropped her in a hole and forgot about it.
Right.
And because she is a nobody, in their humble opinion, she's a nobody. So nobody checked on her. Nobody said, "Hey, woman."
I would have called for like a chaplain, like a priest or something, come visit me, and then stick a note in his Bible.
Yeah. I mean, like, when you think that we have these systems set up so this kind of thing doesn't happen, like, you can't be in jail over 72 hours.
That just proves there are cracks everywhere in the system. So this is just another one that she fell through. But yeah,
and again, I hope she sues. I want her, like, and I do not want to hear a single person say that she's greedy. I want her to sue for $500 million. One, because
whatever she can get,
Fargo does not have that money because they're $1.7 billion in the hole. But I want it to hurt. I want it to hurt so bad that they put many systems in place so this doesn't happen.
Leon, what happens if she's a godly woman and she just forgives?
I don't want to talk about that because right now
I just had to throw that in there because that needs to be said too.
I am a godly man, but if somebody sticks me in a hole for 5 months and my wife Nick is like, "You know what? Screw this crap," and she takes off, and my dog, she takes my dogs, She takes
Isn't
the
it-
8-year-old. She takes
Isn't
the
this like?
150-year-old father, and I come back and there's nothing here, and I'm living in my duck blind out there or something.
Do you remember the Count of Monte Cristo?
I do, 100%. Yeah,
Isn't that like this? Isn't that like this?
100%. 100%. Come back with a vengeance. I hope she comes back swashbuckling, man. I want people. I want people to hurt behind this. And the garbage thing about it is Zabolinski is out the door. Like, I think he got his little stupid plaque and all that from Mayor Baloney. I think he did all that today. So he's out the door.
Yeah, but he'll get hired just down the road. You know, he'll go to Minnesota.
Well, the issues that he had here, he had them where he came from. I think it was Wisconsin somewhere. But he had them there. That's why he was out of the door there. And then Fargo was like, hey, we'll take him. Come on.
That's the problem I have with the police union. That's, you know, I believe they should be able to be unionized, but they abuse it in that sense because they protect the bad apples.
They do. And again, I made a Facebook post about this, a social media post about this. The sucky thing about it is Fargo has become so liberal that I believe, and I told people to bookmark this post, I believe that Fargo's next police chief will be a DEI hire.
Oh, God.
And she will have a more tumultuous tenure than Dave. And
are you sure it's not a she, him, her, his, they,
might be.
them?
Maybe. Like, I got a lot of crap because.
Oh, and Smolian.
Dude, why would you put that into the ether, man?
Well, you know, you got to make it the worst case scenario.
But that's a very real thing. I saw a story that Valley News Live did not fact check, but it stole the virtues of a CNA or an LPN Somalian woman that apparently is the leader of 62 nations in Africa now, and she works as a lowly bedpan operator in some nursing home in Fargo. And I'm like, you're really going to want to fact check this.
Are you talking about Elon Omar? No.
No.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, but I just had to throw that in there.
This is going to sound really. It's not going to fall on certain people's ears nicely. I'll just say it like that. But white liberals have a problem. They have a problem that hurts everybody.
That's just a fact. That's just a fact.
They put on these glasses where they don't see obvious pitfalls, risks, and dangers, all of the signs that you're like. The stupidest thing I've ever heard is you shouldn't profile. You should absolutely profile. I tell my wife, when you go anywhere, you profile everybody. Liberals put these glasses on and they don't profile anybody. So they miss obvious dangers. And I think that's what's wrong with Fargo.
They profile MAGA.
Oh yeah, they see us and they automatically profile us. Like me, yeah. I have a little reprieve because I've actually gone places and people, just because of my skin tone, think I'm a liberal, think I'm a Democrat. And then I start talking and they're disgusted. So, and I couldn't be happy. But yeah, I think Fargo is too far gone. And I think it has not hit rock bottom yet. And I think that it will in the very near future if folks don't become energized, if folks don't become involved. The thing that the folks at the heart of the NDGOP have done, and now all of the elites are running away from them because they have become informed and involved. And all of the elites are like, well, we got to go over here now. It's funny how that works,
Well, I think times are changing. I think people are becoming more aware of it. I think that movement might be starting to trend the other way. I hope it is. And I think if we get the Save America Act passed, it will help Fargo out too. I think that will help the voting problems because a lot of it stems just trying to protect these illegals, the sanctuary status, all this stuff. Once that's gone, once those protections are gone, I think it'll have a positive effect on Fargo.
I think it'll have a positive effect, but not as much of an effect as going back and auditing like the Lutheran social services and the Catholic social services and all these NGOs that flooded our country and flooded our community. We need to audit those people. They should not be able to just kind of slide back into the shadows. And
this should be another topic. This should be another topic because that extends into the liberal teachers in the colleges. That extends all of that. And this UND is really bad,
Yeah. I agree. So we are at the 2:10 mark. I am going to play my Feel Good Friday bit, and I'm just going to get your feedback off of that, and then we're going to say good night to the good folks. But here is my Feel Good Friday segment for this week.
Y'all ever notice how every other country be like, we're French, we're Mexican, we're Jamaican, but America be like, nah, hold up, what kind of an American are you? And I'm like, bro, I'm just American. Same flag, same fries.
I like his hat.
Same problem.
That's a damn nice hat.
I figured you would like that hat. But yeah, I threw that in there because a lot of folks don't understand what it takes to be American. Like we look at the mainstream media, and they'd have you thinking that Alex Preddy is an American, or what's that other idiot's name? They got air-rated for being an idiot. I forget her name. But
yeah, the one that got hit by the vehicle. Yeah, I can't think of her name. Yeah,
they would call those guys Americans. I don't. The people that I believe are the heart.
No, that's what you call a peaceful protester.
The folks that I would call the salt of the earth, the folks that make America run, are guys like that. The guys with calluses on their hands. You never see them at a protest because they have jobs, they have families to look after, that they actually love and look after. The men and women that are out there actually making America run and then getting taxed to the hilt so that idiots can go out there and protest and claim disability for X, Y, and Z, and they can also be out there protesting. Like they're out there like burning American flags and doing all of this god awful stuff and setting our country back. Those are not Americans. Americans come in like every hue, every ethnicity, every genre. And most of them, if you sit down and you talk to them, you'll find out that they're closer to that guy.
You want to know a good example of that? Remember the Rodney King riots? Remember the most patriotic people during that?
Mm.
It was what was it? The Koreans or
the rooftop Koreans? Yeah, yes. I remember that. The rooftop Koreans.
They had ARs and everything up there protecting their businesses.
100%. Like they were Kyle Rittenhouse before Kyle Rittenhouse was a thought in his daddy's eyeball.
that was more American than anybody else in that city.
100%. 100%. And I want to leave you guys with that thought. We are about to hit the 250th anniversary of this great country of ours. Don't let anybody run it down. This is a great country. I love it. I love raising my kid here. I love being here. I would not want to be in any other country except for here. And the reason I say that, and I've had these conversations online, but the reason I say that is without all of the trials, tribulations, and turmoils, mostly caused by Democrats who are demonic spawn of Satan, but that's neither here nor there. Even with all those trials, even with slavery, even with we're on stolen land and all of that stuff, this is the best place to be on the planet because everybody who is drawing breath right now wants to get here. So stop running it down. Stop
we need
doing
to get
that.
Yep. We need
Make
to get
America great.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
I was just saying we need more people to wake up, stand up, and just talk with each other and actually listen to each other. That way you can have a conversation and then it hashes out. You get to that objective truth through conversation.
Hey, you see the way Dan brought that right back around? Objective truth. I love it. And we're going to leave with that. God bless. Good night. This is Leon Francis, Blackbeard Logic, with my good friend Dan Hager of Dan Hager TV and the magnificent beard. This dude that you can't see right now. We're going to work on that.
I'm a disembodied voice.
You're a disembodied. God bless.